Gavin, what can we do for you tonight?
Hi. So I have not experienced much intimacy in my life at all, and I'm wondering how I can cope with that.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting question. Can you tell me a little bit about, when you say a lack of intimacy, are you kind of generally suggesting that you don't make friends easily, that maybe you've been experiencing some depression? I mean, I'm kind of throwing things out there, but tell me a little bit about what you mean. I'm sorry?
I definitely have depression, and I don't have that many. I have some friends, but I've never had a sexual partner. I've never even had anything that was really close to a sexual relationship with anyone. The last intimate contact I had was a goodbye hug with a female friend in high school. That was about 5 years ago. So I'm just
so I'd say the first
I'm just at a loss for what to do.
Yeah.
Well, the first place is to start with loving yourself and to have more human contact. I mean, a lot of what we teach in Tantra isn't even sexual in nature. It's about connection. So, we have, eye gazing and hugging and stuff is in some of our basic classes to help create that human connection. It's also, I don't recommend not taking medication from your doctor. So stay on your prescription medication if you have that. And some of our students have gotten off of medication for depression and so forth because they've learned how to rise above it or, get over ADD or there's, a lot of these practices we're talking about are like training the mind to have more pleasure and learn the skills on how to connect. I mean, I was a virgin until I was 23 and I had no clue how to ask girls out and so forth. And, for me, I just kept trying at it until, the rejection and fear of being rejected kind of dissipated. And then it's like, it's not so bad. I can ask girls out. And eventually I got a yes. And, so part of it's just being in action too. If you want something, focus on it and go get it.
Yeah. Dealing with depression, I know, can be really difficult because my experience when I've had short bouts of depression is I don't want to go out anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do the things that will help me. I don't want to interact with people. So it's like really challenging to deal with. But if you can put yourself out there and go find community where other people are, whether you happen to be fortunate enough to live in an area where there is a Tantra community, or go to a Tantra workshop where you'll get the opportunity to interact with and to actually learn and practice intimacy in a held container with a facilitator facilitating the experience. Safe. That can be really great. Finding professionals that work in that department, whether it's a professional who works in the Department of Intimacy or Sexuality or Depression, working with a professional can give you the one-on-one tools to feel comfortable and to feel like you've got the confidence to go out there to have those relationships and to experience intimacy. And something else that I got started in dance, like social dance. And that's a great place of getting started with meeting people and having like just general like non-sexual touch, connection, intimacy. Again, going like a dance class where it's a facilitated space where they're teaching you and people are there to learn. That can be another great like entry point into having more like physical contact, intimacy,
feeling
connection
comfortable with your body, other
people,
people's bodies, yeah.
And it's non-sexual, but dancing is such a great way of having that non-sexual connection and really getting to feel that. And like dancing did so much for me and so much for so many of my friends whom I started with. So many people who like had no relationships before developed so much confidence and friendship just through just going out and doing some social dancing and taking some classes there too.
Dancing is one of the first Tantra arts.
Yeah, dancing is absolutely a tantric art. That's one of the reasons why I love recommending it. A great stepping stone.
Yeah, so with all of that, I would definitely say that, a lack of intimacy, a lack of connection with others can absolutely cause depression. But I would also suggest that depression can cause a lack of intimacy. It can prevent you from going out and meeting people. It can prevent you from being vulnerable, being close to people. And so I would really stress that as you're kind of wanting to open yourself up, as you're wanting to have some of these experiences, that you would also be looking to address that depression maybe a little bit more directly, working with a therapist or a psychiatrist or some other practitioner who can help you kind of start moving forward on some of these things. So I know that's a lot of information to throw at you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. I know you're not alone. Most people want more intimacy in their lives.
I think that's very true.
Well, thanks for taking my call.
Okay. Well, yeah, absolutely. I hope that gets you started. And please feel free to shoot us a email or anything else if you have any other questions or if there's anything else we could point you towards. Thanks so much for calling.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
All right. You have a great night.
Bye.
Yeah, so it's definitely a heartbreaking thing to hear because, that really is why we're here. You talk about love as being perhaps the most important pursuit, and I definitely think that it is, if not the most important or the only, certainly one of the most integral parts of being a human is having that connection with others. And it really is vital to the way our brains evolve, the way our brains operate to have other people in our lives. So, Sean, we definitely hope that you take a look and that you have some success with these things because it's kind of what we're all looking towards.
Also, there's no one timeline for everybody.
It's very important to remember.
Just because you maybe haven't reached certain relationship goals that other people around you have doesn't mean that you're behind or that there's something wrong with you. My little sister's 4 years younger than me and just got engaged, and I'm here going on first dates. So everyone has their own trajectory.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was a late bloomer myself. I didn't start romantically dating anyone till after college. I didn't have a boyfriend or any kind of romantic dating all through school.
Oh man, I was
until
holding
after
hands and
college.
making out in movie theaters well before I could get into PG-13 films.
Everyone's path is equally valid.
Right, everybody's got
Exactly.
kind of their own progression of things.